Hey guys, Susana here. For today's video, I have one of the new releases from Louboutin's Abracadabra La Palette collection. I am super excited. To be completely honest though, I was not going to pick up anything from this release. When I saw the promo pics at first, I was just not at all interested. The packaging looked so cheap to me. The actual makeup products just did not catch my eye. So I completely disregarded the whole collection and just moved on. But here we are. I clearly picked up something. Once I saw the pictures of these products on the Nordstrom website, I became intrigued. I really wanted to try something out for myself and see what I thought about it. Originally, I had thought about picking up an eyeshadow palette as well as one of the face palettes, but you know, this can get expensive pretty quickly, especially because they're sold as refills. So you have to buy the actual makeup product separately and then the case separately as well, and you know, all that can add up. And of course, we're talking about some Louboutin products, so you know, it can get up there in price pretty quickly. So I decided to just go ahead and pick up the one product that I was mostly intrigued on. Now this actually arrived earlier today and I already kind of played with it. You know, I just couldn't resist. Just like I couldn't resist on making the purchase, I could not resist on giving it a try. So I already, I guess, did a first impressions on my own earlier, but you know, it doesn't really count. My makeup wasn't fully done or anything. So this is going to be like the true first impressions of the new palette that I have here. So Louboutin actually started with his makeup line a while ago. I mean, several years back. I more recently hauled one of his eyeshadows. This is a liquid eyeshadow and I don't like it at all. I've tried it several different ways and I just cannot get this to work for me. The packaging itself though is super pretty, so I'm only keeping it because of that. Otherwise, I would just throw this away because I just don't think this will work out for anybody because the product itself is just really crappy. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was also very quick on just completely saying no to everything. But you know, like usual, I yo-yo a lot when it comes to makeup releases. That's why I haven't done my sip or skip in a while, because I'll say I'm getting something, I get super hyped and excited about it, and then next thing I know, I'm just uninterested, so I don't get that, but I end up purchasing things that I originally said I wasn't going to get. And that's just, you know, the story of my life and my online shopping experiences. So it just is what it is, right? So anyway, this palette is called the Abracadabra La Palette. The one that I picked up is So Chic. However, I did notice that on the Nordstrom website, it's called So Pink. So the packaging will say one thing, but at least through Nordstrom it says something else. I'll have all the details in my description box below along with the links in case anybody is interested. Now let's go ahead and take a closer look. As you can see, this does come in a beautiful red box. It has the Louboutin logo, and then inside you get the case. You do get two options. There's a black and the red. Clearly I picked the red one as I felt it was most appropriate for the brand. The top portion is full of studs and honestly it just looks so cool. I'm really digging this packaging. If you flip it over, you can see in the back it says Louboutin, and then we press on this side stud here to get it open, and then there's a little message inside. The case is plastic, but it does not feel cheap, and it has a sizable mirror as well. As for La Palette, again, I picked up So Chic. This is a blush and a highlighter trio. Just like the packaging, this is so much more pretty in person. The colors are very vibrant. The first shade we have here is a pink, almost magenta shade. The highlighter I would describe as a light champagne. And then the second blush is more like a coral. These are really bright and just beautiful shades. I'm also very impressed at how well they swatched. My biggest fear was that the highlighter was going to be too light for me, but since I have already tried it, I'm so happy to report that it actually works out perfectly. If it were to be any lighter, then it would just look quite stark and just have like a cast, like a too much of a white cast for me. But you know what? Thankfully, that is not the case. And the blushes also looked very pretty. Now, this is a baked gelée formula, which is always my preference, especially when it comes to highlighters and then of course blushes as well. I did go ahead already and obviously I placed the palettes into the case. The assembly is super easy since they're both magnetized. I mean, you just lay it on top and the case just sucks in on the palette and voila, there we go. So okay, enough of all of that. Let's go ahead and get into the actual demo of these. I'm going to be using a few of my newer Wayne Goss brushes. These are from the Edit collection. I want to use these because I obviously love them, but really one of the reasons why I also wanted to use it today is to remember to correct myself, as during my last video I made the mistake and said that the handles were plastic. Honestly, they just they feel like they're plastic, so that's why I said that, but it has been brought to my attention and I've also confirmed through the Beautylish website that they are in fact maple wood handles. So I do apologize for that misinformation that I gave you guys in my last video. I did pin a comment where one of the subscribers corrected me, but you know, just in case anybody has missed that and you did watch that video, I'm sorry. They are maple wood handles. That makes it better though, doesn't it? Anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to clarify. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the palette. Now I'm going to go into my highlighter first. I do like to highlight before going in with the rest of my face makeup, though I do already have a little bit of bronzer on. So using my Wayne Goss number 4 brush, I picked up some of that highlight. And look at that glow. Like, it's not super subtle, but it's also not too much in your face. Honestly, it's just the formula, the shade, the perfect amount of radiance that it's giving me that has just made me so happy with this highlighter. Like, I can't really see it on this side. There we go. And this brush is actually quite perfect for highlight as well. I was so nervous that this highlighter was not going to work out for me, but the blushes in this palette are the ones that spoke to me the most. There was another one I was looking at, but I think that's the one. I don't know, because I've been looking at a lot of things online, but I think it's the one, like it had too much of a yellow highlighter, like a golden yellow highlighter, and I can't do golden highlighters that well. So thankfully this works out really nicely. All right, I just zoomed you guys in. I forgot to do it before I applied the highlighter, but how pretty does that look? Baked gelée highlighters are really just the best in my opinion. Like, this doesn't emphasize my texture or anything like that, so I very much appreciate that. All right, so that's the highlighter. Now, as far as a blush, I'm going to take my number 1 brush here, and let's go into this pink or like magenta shade. So I picked up about that amount. And even considering the formula, quite a bit of the product actually does get on the brushes. I feel like some baked gelée formulas or some baked gelée products are just too pressed in, where you have to go with a stiffer brush to actually get some pigment. That's not the case here. These brushes are very soft, and the fact that it picks up this much product and applies it this intensely just means that you just get a lot of color payoff right off the bat. Okay, so that is how that's looking. And I feel like it's quite true to what we see here on the pan. Let me just add a little bit more here. I have some new acne I've been dealing with right there, so I don't want to disturb that too much. So I'd rather do kind of patting motions. Here I can blend. I don't know, you guys, I think this looks really pretty. Now, earlier when I applied it, I ended up keeping this on for just under 4 hours, and I felt that this is one of those products that actually ends up looking better as the day goes on. There was no fading, and so once my natural oils kind of started pulling through a little bit, besides like the T-zone because I did get quite oily there, my cheeks looked real radiant. The colors just popped. So yeah, so far I'm really happy with it. I mean, I do know 4 hours is definitely not enough to develop a thorough review, but so far, upon first impression still, I'm quite impressed. So now I just flipped over the brush and I picked up some of this coral shade. And I find that I actually like starting off more back here and then bringing the color forward. I used to start right on the apples of my cheeks, and I still do sometimes, but it's just more flattering, especially when I'm working with such pigmented blushes, to start back here and then work my way to the apples. I'm gonna layer this just a little bit more. More so because I really want this to show on camera so y'all can see just how bright these colors are. Bright, but still very wearable, especially for the summer. And it blends very nicely. I like that although there's a lot of color here, there's still a little bit of a sheen there, and there is no type of shimmer. So the cheeks just alone start looking radiant. As I said, kind of as the day goes on, I feel like it looks more and more radiant. Just so pretty. So yeah, at this point, I'm sure y'all can tell that I am that I am very happy with this palette. It really just exceeded my expectations. I was truly just going based off of my one experience, off of the one product that I do have from the brand, as well as the promo pictures. It just looked so cheap to me. In person, I don't find that to be the case at all. Oh, one other thing too that I forgot to mention is that this case will work both for the face palette that I have in here and the eyeshadow palettes. Again, those both are sold as refills. So if I were to get the eyeshadow palette, I can put it in here, but then like what would I do with this? So I would have to buy the other case, which I would then go ahead and pick up the black one. But we will see. I mean, as impressed as I am with this, I mean, honestly, I really do want the eyeshadow palette, but I should at least wait, right? Let me just wait. I don't need it right now. Alright guys, I just wanted to do a quick little demo using my So Chic palettes from Louboutin. I hope y'all enjoyed this and found it informative. If you did, please let me know in the comments down below. Like my video, and if you have not yet, please do not forget to subscribe so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today. Until next time.